Hey, what's up, guys? Goofy Rexy here. Hope everybody is doing well, and welcome, guys, to the weekly headliner update, week number 95. Now, if you're new to the weekly headliners, this is where we discuss what is upcoming this week in Marvel Strike Force to get you prepared, and then we also recap the most important topics from the previous week as well. Now, this week, big week. We got patch 6.6. It's probably going to be dropping here whether Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're going to go over sort of like a quick preview, talk about the characters that are going to be coming, some rumors here. Also talk a little bit about what else could be included in the patch apart from just the characters themselves. Also, we have another month-long event that's going to be starting here this week alongside another character event that's going to be starting this week as well for Dark Beast. So we're going to be going through the new look for the month-long event and sort of like some quick thoughts on that there, and then also some partial math as well in regards to the Dark Beast event to kind of get yourself prepared mentally for what you might need to do, and also talk about the activity that you need to accomplish there as well. Also, Cosmic Crucible season is delayed. I'm not quite sure why that did happen. I'm going to talk about the reason why that's not good, and there's some changes that probably need to be made here to make some players whole, guys. That and so much more on the weekly headliner update, guys, and we're going to start right now. All right, guys, welcome back to the Marvel Strike Force weekly headliner update. So much stuff to cover here this week. Biggest thing, of course, is patch 6.6. But of course, guys, if it is your first time coming to the channel here and you would like to see some more Marvel Strike Force content, then consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Also, check out the links that are down below as well. There's a link to my Discord where you can come and be a part of the Goof Troop community there. We do chit chat about Marvel Strike Force, or I'm a big, massive sports fan, man. So usually I probably talk about a lot of sports as well. I'm in the sports section. Also, Patreon. That's another way to support the channel here for just $1 a month. So check that out. Of course, if you support, definitely be greatly appreciated. Also, my Twitch link is down below where I do occasionally stream some Marvel Strike Force content. My Twitter links and also my Facebook link are down below as well, guys. So let's actually dive first right into the topic for this week, or the first topic for this week here, which is going to be, of course, patch 6.6 stuff, right? So we got this in-game mail last week here, which talked about we're going to be getting 6 new playable characters, character updates, which most likely means that we're going to be getting some character reworks here. We got costumes. We're always getting costumes, right? I like them. You like them sometimes. Well, I like them sometimes too. It all depends. We got some additional hard difficulty chapters, so we'll talk about where potentially those could be, and then and more. Like, what's the and more? We'll talk about what my predictions are in regards to what those could be as well. But in regards to the 6 new playable characters, so let's talk about who we know about so far, right? So right now we know that Archangel was going to be one of them. We've known since patch 6.4 or 6.5. Like, we've known for a while here that Archangel is going to be joining in. Who we did not know was Nemesis, and this was a little bit of a shock to me. I was kind of like, Nemesis is going to be a part of the Dead Sea team. Who is Nemesis? Who art thou, Nemesis, right? And then of course kind of read up a little bit, and then now we know all the kits for both Archangel and then also Nemesis. Now, initially, I think there were some mixed reviews in regards to Archangel. His kit didn't sort of like blow anybody out of the water. Honestly, though, I really kind of like it. I think it's helpful in regards to raids and what players are going to need to do for some of these raids, right? I like this, the unkill, generating 1 ability energy for self and Dead Seat allies. I like his ultimate where it's just a massive amount of damage, 700% piercing damage, and the fact that it's a 3 out of 3 cost, and of course being able to get that ability energy on kill, I think is going to be really helpful. And then some other stuff that he's able to do here, some additional buffs to the team, like offense up, you know, and being able to prolong positive effects too. I think there's some good things that Archangel does, and even more importantly, I look at some of these abilities and think about things like with this passive where it's unkill, generate 1 ability for self and all Dead Sea allies. Like, what if that's something that actually translates over to the legendary Horseman team, right? So jury's out. We'll have to see. Nemesis's kit is pretty cool too, with regards to like the health steal and being able to do that to give additional health to other characters. The fact that all of his abilities as a support character and as a healing character here does damage, I think is also really good too. So you're gonna have to see kind of how everything works together. We'll probably do a little bit of a deep dive later on the Dead Sea team, talk about stats, turn order, things like that as they sort of kind of trickle into MSF.gg to kind of give us an idea as to how this team potentially could perform here, right? in those Mutant Doom raids. But there's some other things to talk about. So we also got this blog post as well, which indicated to us that we're going to be getting a Rebirth team. Now, this Rebirth team is going to be one of the new or is going to be the new Bio Doom raid team here. So first and foremost, I'm not quite sure that we've kind of needed a new Bio raid team. I was doing kind of fine where I'm at with 3.2, 3.1 right now, because we basically dropped down we were doing a higher difficulty at 50%. We were like, well, we're actually kind of losing teal gear raid orbs, so we dropped down to a lower percent, and then we're hitting 60% consistently now. So was kind of like our play on that here. But for players who are doing 3.3, 3.4, they're like, hey, the Web Warriors, man, are not doing great for those Bio Doom raids. So this Rebirth team, here you go, for you to kind of figure and solve that out. Some exciting stuff going on, though. I mean, seriously, Captain Carter coming into Marvel Strike Force, hella cool, man. Like, I mean, that's really cool, right? Agent Venom, another really kind of like cool character a lot of us wanted. Super happy as well that he has the symbiote tag. So maybe we resurrect the symbiote team at some point in time. We have a little bit of synergy, right, with the symbiote team. So we'll see if that works out. And then there's US Agent. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm not really like a huge fan of US Agent. Like, he can kind of kick rocks as far as I'm concerned, but I know that there's some players who do really like US Agent. So US Agent's gonna be a part of this Bio raid team. And then we do have now this is what I'm amped for, right? Captain America getting a rework. Like, come on now. I'm amped about that. Also, the fact too as well that we're getting a rework to Winter Soldier. Now, bittersweet for me on Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier, I was really looking forward to like a Thunderbolts team, and then we saw Ross go over to the Gamma team to be the leader of the Gamma team. So we kind of felt like that ship had already sailed, but I was still holding out some hope. I know some of you guys too were holding out some hope, but no, the hope is gone. But at least we got a rework to Winter Soldier now. So if you have to build him up for your Omega Red unlock here, at least there's some value, right, that you'll have in Winter Soldier. So that's kind of where things are now in regards to like these raid teams, right? The Rebirth team, the Dead Sea team, maybe Bionic Avengers, right? We're looking at these. The way I look at these teams are being given to us right now to solve a problem that is a Doom 3 raids, and more importantly, probably be able to help us to get the 3.5 on a consistent basis, right? That's the way I kind of look at this stuff. I still ultimately think it's going to be Stars and Red Stars, and the Secret Avengers are like on their way out. There's Mystic that's kind of figured out right now. I think this is why they're bringing in the Rebirth team, bringing in the Dead Sea team, because we're probably going to be a team that's going to be taking care of 3.5. So that's the reason why they kind of bring them in. And obviously too as well, let's keep it real. Boundless creates a problem, and then they also sell you a solution. So that's all what's going on here too. But they're wrapping up in this package of some really cool characters that we're really looking forward to playing with. So I guess that's where that is concerned. Now, there are some rumors, and I don't really want to dive into the rumors too much here. There's a new character. There's one character that's not mentioned in any of the blog posts here that you guys can go take a look at what those videos look like. I'm not going to talk about that here in this video. The only rumor I'll discuss is the fact that Ultron potentially, as I mentioned, this is one of the rumors said that Ultron is going to be getting a rework. And I will say this, like, if Ultron is getting a rework here, and I'll just pan over to my Ultron, I mean, it's not like immensely like sexy to look at from like a gear tier and level perspective, but I mean, look at the costume, guys. This is stellar work, right? So if Ultron is getting a rework, I'm pretty amped about that. I'm going to tell you the reason why, right? I mean, seriously, he's one of the best, coolest supervillains in the Marvel comic history, right? So, and in the MCU killed him off, which were just like, how in the world did you kill Ultron? Like, is that really like a thing? We kill Ultron now. So Ultron's probably still around there somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in Secret Wars a couple years from now in the MCU as he was in the comics, right? Wouldn't be surprised if we saw that. And I guess if Ultron does get a rework, we've already kind of gotten, that means that we would have already had Ultron 1 when he didn't have Red Stars, and then now that there's the Red Star version of Ultron, now that was like Ultron 2, and I guess if technically he does get a rework, he'll be Ultron 3. So there's still a lot of Ultrons. There's still 4 or 5. There's a couple other Ultrons that we have to get to here, and I think Ultron should always be relevant as far as I'm concerned here with Marvel Strike Force. All right, I'm done. I'm done talking about these new characters here. We're gonna have to see kind of where some things go. Now, a couple of things to talk about. There's no minion rework. Like, what's going on there, right, guys? Like, we haven't seen anything or mentioned anything. There hasn't been anything mentioned here. Now, patch is still, we may get some surprises here on patch or some stat boosts. We'll have to see what that looks like, but nothing mentioned so far. And obviously, of course, for Archangel, players are going to need to build out their minions in order to be able to get through those first 2 nodes. So there definitely needs to be a ball to drop here. If Ultron does get a rework, I hope that there may allow characters that do summon minions to also, maybe you can use those characters. We'll have to see if they get a little creative where that is concerned. But some other things to talk about in regards to patch 6.6. So they also mentioned additional hard difficulty chapters, right? So currently right now, the difficulty chapters that we do have, I think they're pretty good. I think they're pretty good. I think they're serving the purpose for what we needed. There's some important character shards that are there. Madeline Pryor, just said Madison. Madeline Pryor might actually be pretty important now for the non-mutant section, right? We don't know. Maria Hill, Hela, people are already able to farm her, but you know, Wong also being able to farm Emma. I think a lot of people are still using that character. I know I do every single day in Arena. Cersei is here. So where we probably could see some of these additional hard difficulties, it could be heroes or villains, but there's also a possibility too that we might see some of these nodes in the Nexus campaign. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of said, hey, we're going to add some more hard difficulty nodes. Although based on the preview, it was kind of just mentioned that it would be villains and heroes. So probably just going to be getting those chapters there as well, but they've been easy to do, some important character shards. So I think that for the most part, that's been a pretty good thing. Now, one thing that wasn't mentioned or was mentioned, but this wasn't really reiterated or talked about recently, is some stuff that may potentially happen with Cosmic Crucible, right? So if we go back to their second half preview for the year, they talked about Cosmic Crucible and the different versions of Cosmic Crucible, and of course now Cosmic Crucible is going to be delayed. So I do think that some of the updates that are here that we're going to talk about are probably also going to be delayed going to the patch as well. So they mentioned here that for Cosmic Crucible that we could see, we're going to be able to see a history panel, and this is, I guess this is probably going to be something similar to what's going on in Swogo, where you're able to kind of see the history of what players have done in regards to like attacks and actually see like what they've done. That's the way I understand it. If I'm wrong, let me know, guys. Like, I've never played Swogo. I don't really fully understand exactly what the history panel is, so please share your insights, you know, if that's, but I'm thinking it's like you're able to kind of see what players have done and actually look at the recordings of the attack. That's what I believe it's supposed to be able to do, right? I could be wrong, but this is, I believe, a way for them to also kind of work, I think, towards, number one, it's good to kind of see what players have done against your defenses, but I think it's also supposed to serve the purpose of being able to catch hackers and cheaters as well. So for that reason, I'm all for it. Some players don't like the fact that history panel might be coming in, because then it sort of ruins the integrity of competition. I can understand that, but I still think that if it's about hackers and cheaters, I think that's a good way to kind of eliminate them. Practice mode, I think it's probably going to be pretty big where I'm concerned, because being able to practice against some comps that you've seen before that maybe just you want to see, hey, can this beat it? Can that beat it? I think would definitely be a good thing for players to be able to do. So looking forward to them potentially being able to add that. Stage rules in combat. So being that we've now gotten this extension of Cosmic Crucible until probably the next patch, I don't think that we're going to be able to see this as of yet. And to be honest with you, we may not even see these things as of yet either, right? Because they're probably going to say, hey, we're just going to push it towards a different patch here. So we'll have to see exactly what we get. They mentioned also increased payout of silver promotion credits. I like to read this line because I'm like, silver promotion credits, huh? Like Red Star promotion credits? Or we're just talking about the silver elite credits that you get from your Cosmic Crucible matchups that I assume will be coming too. And then another thing that was not mentioned is that we probably forgot about, that was mentioned, is economy updates. So they mentioned that they were going to be making some changes here to economy updates. Earn previously unavailable and hard to get character shards in hard difficulty campaigns. Okay, check, we've gotten that, right? Earn more teal gear in hard difficulty campaigns. Okay, check, we've gotten that as well. Open teal gear orbs in the war store for elite war credits. I haven't gotten that yet, right? So potentially we might be getting that here in patch 6.6. Would not be surprised. I think the Cosmic Crucible stuff is probably going to be in patch 6.7. And we also did get this too as well. Raid store updated with 12 slots for orange unique gear pieces and 12 slots for purple unique pieces. So I suspect that most likely we are going to be getting probably the War Orb one, and then probably Cosmic Crucible. And I don't think there was anything else that I was able to find here that we probably could talk about. We got the MSF.GG stuff. We got the roster sync stuff. So things like that have already been done here for the second half of the year. So I think that's it, guys, in terms of patch 6.6 in regards to what we could get here. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the month-long event, and then also some partial math as well for Abominable Beast. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about the next month-long event here, which is going to be called Festival of Frost, or if I were to say it in my Jamaican accent, it would be Festival of Frost. All right, so listen, we're going to talk about this here. This is going to be a little different than what we've been used to so far. So same thing, some in terms of structure, same structure, right? So we got 4 main milestone events. We got 4 Quick Rumble milestone events. We got 2 Alliance milestones. Those things are remaining the same. They listed out as well sort of the main events in terms of the timeline and when these events are going to go live. Abominable Beast, the reason why we're guessing that patch is probably going to be on Tuesday is that Abominable Beast for Dark Beast is supposed to go live on Tuesday. So most likely that's probably going to be the day of the patch, right? But yeah, this one's going to be a little bit different in terms of like the table. As you can see right here, they're scrolling all the way down. The points are significantly higher. There's 750,000 points that you need in order to be able to complete this milestone, which is different than the previous 500,000, right? So now I hope and pray that we're all going to be able to do through all of these events, that we're going to be able to complete this. Also want to point out too that it looks like we're getting for the augmented gear, we're getting both Mystic gear and then we're getting Mutant gear. I would assume that, of course, like the Mutant gear, maybe that's tied towards the fact that it's still like Dark Beast, I don't know, and then probably Mystic gear. So it could also be an indication, right, as to, I think this has been a prediction in the past, like depending on what type of augmented gear you get in here or what gear you get here, it means that we're probably getting that next character, that trait of characters next patch. So probably be a patch 6.7, we might be getting Mystic, and then we also might be getting some Mutant characters. That could also be a thing as well. There is this event store and rewards now, which they mention here. Earn presents to spend in the winter event store on top tier character shards and Elite 7 credits and Dark promotion credits. So should have already mentioned this already. There's no character for this month-long event. It's just stuff that you're getting in this event store, where you're going to be able to grab, like I said, top tier character shards. Now, the top tier character shards that they mentioned are Morgan Le Fay shards, Icarus shards, Abomination for the first week. So they've kind of split this up by week. Week 2 is Hulkbuster, Weaver, Agatha, Dazzler, Spider-Man 2099, and Brawn. Week 4, Noir, Spider-Man Noir, and Rogue, and then Nemesis. Interesting that they've been doing this with legendary characters like Morgan Le Fay and Rogue. Kind of interesting that they've been going that route, but I'm wondering if the way this month-long event will work is that you'll still be able to get 180 shards, 180 shards total, right? And that's kind of how you'll be able to pick out some of these characters. But it's also going to be a matter of, hey, do you want character shards, or do you want Elite 7 credits, or do you want Dark promo credits? I would probably say go for the character shards. Those are significantly harder to get. So I'll probably go on that route, and then slowly work your way up to Dark promos, and then slowly work, and maybe second, third, you consider Elite 7 credits is probably the direction that I would probably go in. Like, let's talk about Abominable Beast and his event. So this is supposed to go live here on December 6th, and we're going to go through some math on this. So this is going to be another event that has multiple milestones that tie towards a main milestone, right? So for this event here, there is worth mentioning first is that there's this Mad Science Orb, and the way that you earn points for the Abominable Beast milestone is that you have to get Mad Science Orb fragments. So as you can see here with this table, earn 1 Mad Science Orb fragment, and then that is how you're able to then go through this milestone. You will need, because there is a boosted item in this event, you will need to get to milestone 24, which is 53,000 points, to be able to get the Coal Eyes. And the Coal Eyes, I kind of forgot how much points you get for that for the month-long event. That is, I passed it somewhere, I apologize. that's going to give you 30,000 points. That's going to be very important for you to be able to grab that piece, because that's going to be the reason if you're able to complete the entire month-long event, right? It's definitely going to have those sort of implications. Then there's these two other milestones. One is called the Ghastly Experiment milestone, where you spend power cores. Surprise, surprise, guys. Remember those 5,000 power cores that we got? Well, you can continue to use them in these events, okay? Hopefully you have some left. But here's the power cores, another power core event that you're going to have to spend on to be able to get some mad science orb fragments here. And then for the cold-hearted web milestone, you spend campaign energy. So tomorrow, guys, or December 6th, do not do your core energy refreshes. Save those until the event goes live on that Tuesday night, to make sure that you are utilizing your core energy refreshes towards these events and spending your energy towards these events. It's going to be a pretty big idea, so make sure that you save that stuff. So let's go through the math here really quickly and then talk about that. So this is what I call my like toilet paper math. Hopefully this is going to be helpful. I'm going to move my camera a little bit over here, but as I mentioned, the Abominable Beast event, you need to get to milestone 24 in order to be able to get the 53,000 points for the coal eyes. Now, there is a blitz component to this. So when you blitz, you are going to be getting mad science orb fragments that are going to go towards that main milestone. And then you get the rest of those orb fragments from the Ghastly Experiments milestone and then the cold-hearted web milestone. Unfortunately, we don't know what the average of the fragments that you're going to be getting from blitzing is. So we're kind of going to, that's going to be a variable. We'll kind of talk about what you need to get from blitz later on after we complete sort of the calculations for Ghastly Experiments and then cold-hearted. So for Ghastly Experiments, spending power cores, if you spend 400 cores a day, both on your campaign energy refreshes and then 200 cores on your ISO campaign energy refreshes, before that milestone, you will get a total of 2,800 points over 7 days, which is going to give you a total of 8,500 frags. Now, put as a quick note here that if you take 1 day where you spend an extra 100 cores, so in total 500 cores for that day, that will get you to 2,900 points, and that will give you actually 10,000 fragments before the Ghastly Experiments milestone. So just 1 day of just spending 500 cores, and the other days you spend your 400 cores, that will get you a total of 2,900 points, 10,000 fragments, and then 5 mad science orbs, which, by the way, that's how you're going to be able to get shards for Dark Beast. Not a huge fan of that at all, because it's all RNG. I just don't like it. But based on that, you'll have 43,000 points remaining for this event. And for the cold-hearted web milestone, spending your campaign energy here, 1108 campaign energy per day is what you usually spend for like your regular campaign energy. And if you're doing your 200 core refreshes per day, that's usually what you're getting. And then for ISO campaign energy, I feel like my math is off on this. I put 1,000 and maybe like 980 something, and that kind of a big deal. So I'll have to double check my math on this a little bit here. But in total, that's going to give you 2108 per day, which is 2,000 mad science orb frags per day. So this is a daily milestone. So you spend your campaign energy, your ISO campaign energy, and then you get to a certain mark per day, which will give you 2,000 mad science orb fragments per day in total, which is going to give you 14,000 frags over 7 days. So that's, as you can see here, that's 11 mad science orbs that you have gotten. But more importantly, the amount of points that you'll have remaining after these two milestones is 29,000 fragments remaining that you need to collect from just doing blitz. So that's a variable. This seems like a super high number. I don't know what the average of fragments are going to be for you doing your blitzes. So this is going to be very crucial for us to kind of find that information out. And then once I do, I'll try to just update this really quickly, and then I'll probably do like a part 2 of the math video here that we just discussed. So hopefully kind of help you out to make some sort of decisions here in regards to what you need to do. But I guess I don't like, based on this right now, I don't like this event. I don't like the fact that it's all orbs, that there's no shards in any of the milestones whatsoever. Kind of makes me feel a little uncomfortable, if I'm going to be honest with you, in regards to how you're going to be able to get shards, meaningful shards for this character. Like I said, I don't see any orbs in any of these milestones, any shards for any of these milestones here, which definitely is concerning. So we'll have to see, guys. We'll take a look at it. We'll keep you updated, and then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. And then last couple things here I wanted to talk about is this Cosmic Crucible, right? So Cosmic Crucible we're supposed to get a update for Cosmic Crucible, and unfortunately that's not the case right now. Cosmic Crucible season has been, or we're supposed to get a new season, I should have said, for Cosmic Crucible, and that is not the case. Cosmic Crucible season extension, we got this blog post here a couple of days ago. So the current season of Cosmic Crucible will be extended and now targeting its conclusion in February. We're currently working on increasing rewards related to the game mode, excluding adding some valuable character shards to the Cosmic Crucible store, which we got to talk about that too. These changes will go live shortly after the release of version 6.6, currently targeting release next week. The team wants to see the effects of the new rewards before starting a new season. So I guess like that's okay. So make sure that you're getting all your available battles in the earn credits, etc., words, right? So like, I guess like it's nice that they're kind of testing this out first before they make these changes. And here we got this Cosmic Crucible update sort of mentioned in the blog post that talks about updates to Cosmic Crucible store, and Crucible rank rewards are scheduled to arrive on December 8th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And then they listed out the character shards and the cost of these character shards that are going to be in the Cosmic Crucible store. So Black Panther, Beast, Lady Deathstrike are going to be 300 credits, Crucible credits. Gambit, Hulkbuster, Abomination are going to be 600 Elite Crucible credits. I mean, they mentioned some other stuff here for some rank rewards, some little increases in the standard and the elite Crucible credits, I think is what they mentioned here, and then some ISO Blue 4s, things of that nature are going to be added as well, or increased. I should say. I will say this: I think I like that they're considering us before to see whether or not this experiment is going to work in regards to the amount of rewards that they're giving, and then the shards in the store, if that's going to be good and well for the player base. I will say this though, the fact that you're not ending the season means that players are also not getting their end of season rewards, and that's kind of a big deal for players right now who are pushing to get sort of their G17s. Like, the G17s in the Cosmic Crucible store are 3,900 pieces, right? I mean, and I like, you can take a look at what I have currently right now in my inventory. I don't think it's a lot. Yeah, I have 1,475 credits, guys. So I can't grab anything right now because all I do, this is literally all I use it for, is grabbing these G17 pieces because I know that I'm going to need them, and it's such a slow grind. So that's partially too why I'm not necessarily a big fan of them even adding character shards to the store. Now, to be fair, we should have seen this coming. Like, we definitely knew this was coming, right? They were going to be adding this. So I think that if they're going to be doing that, they need to increase the rank rewards. You need to increase the knockout rewards. There was nothing that was mentioned here for the knockout rewards. That's another way that they could also increase the amount of credits that we're getting too, to make sure that players can actually farm character shards. Because if you're putting Abomination in there, Gambit in there, those are some pretty important character shards that players will need to do things like Saga, and then eventually to be able to Saga, to be able to get Apocalypse, right? It's going to be pretty important in my opinion. So there has to be some sort of a way to increase this in a way that is meaningful, and not just doing it based on rank rewards, but also as well increasing the knockout rewards, also increasing giving players the season rewards now. I think will be a good start to be able to make some things work, and that has not currently been mentioned. So I don't know, overall, I'm not a fan of this change, but I also expected this change to come. I'm just hoping that they do it the right way, which, let's be real, man, they've like not done a lot of things the right way, right? So my expectations kind of low where that is concerned. And kind of wanted to wrap this video up and talking about Strike Pass here. So this was something that was mentioned in the most recent blog post as well. They're going to be making their festive Strike Pass. So this is going to be a little different than what they've done before. They're actually going to be running Strike Pass season 23 and season 24 in the same exact months. The past two, those two different seasons are going to be, so it's going to be 2 weeks long. So usually a season lasts an entire month. These next two seasons, 23 and 24, are going to be lasting 2 weeks each. They mentioned here that you're going to be able to get Hulkbuster and Abomination shards. So good character shards to be able to get. I think a lot of people would like that for the most part, especially Hulkbuster, considering that he's so important to your raids, and raids are so important to this game. I think it's a good thing that they're actually throwing some Hulkbuster shards in the Strike Pass. So, and they mentioned it too, that you're still going to be able to get a full month worth of rewards even though they're only doing it for 2 weeks each, which I think is another good direction for them to go. They also did mention here that there are going to be some updates to gear for Strike Pass 2 and then Strike Pass 3. And Strike Pass 3, I think, is going to be the one that's more noteworthy, because Strike Pass 3 is going to include teal gear. So looks like what we saw in the data mines, what we can even see currently right now in game for the Strike Pass, they're going to be going away with it. So if you jump into this right now, you take a look at this right here, and you'll see that there's a tier 4, right? Tier 4 that says level 80 plus. So it looks like they're eliminating that. And it's only going to be the 1, 2, and 3. And then the 3 is going to have some updated rewards here for some teal gear. So I'm not sure why they went back on that decision. I think it actually probably is a good decision to go with, though, in the long term. Increase the rewards for the current tiers that you're working with right now, although there's not any increase for Strike Pass 1 that was mentioned, but increase the tiers for 2. People actually don't stay in Strike Pass 1 for too long either, so that's also could be the reason why they haven't made an update there. But Strike Pass 2 and Strike Pass 3, increase the rewards and not give a new tier that kind of separates players, I think is actually a good direction to go in my personal opinion. So I think it's a good change. So I wanted to end it on a positive, right? By saying that it's actually a good change that they're making here. So it also may make the Strike Pass a little bit more profitable, or a little bit person actually spend a little bit more. This is the first Strike Pass I bought for Viv Vision. This is the first one I bought in probably the last 6 or 7, guys. So but that's only because this allowed me to bring up my Viv Vision to 6 stars, right? So was able to kind of benefit from that, and that's the only reason why I grabbed it. So to me personally, I think it's definitely a good thing that they are doing this. And like I said, I wanted to end this on a positive note. So what are your thoughts, guys? I'm running out of energy. What are your thoughts in regards to a lot of the changes that are coming? Patch 6.6, in regards to the new characters, the bio raid team. Do you think we needed a bio raid team? Or are you kind of question, are you going to build this bio raid team like initially, like off the bat, or are you going to kind of wait for it? What are your thoughts on Cosmic Crucible, the changes that they're making there? The Abominable Beast Event. I'm not really a fan of the Abominable Beast Event right now. All those orbs makes me a little nervous. Wish there were some character shards that were also included as well. But appreciate you watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. What else can I think of? There's so many things. I love you guys very much. Until next time, guys, y'all be blessed and y'all be safe.